Hi everyone, and welcome to Creative Chelsey. If you like this video, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up or commenting below. If you want to see more of my videos, press the subscribe button and click on the bell for notifications. If you need any Stampin' Up! Products to make these cards, you can visit my online store and the link is in the description box below. When you purchase Stampin' Up! Products through me, you can earn free products. Check out my current customer appreciation products on my blog, and the link is listed below in the description. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my third alternative card ideas using the August 2021 Hope Box Paper Pumpkin Kit. So this beautiful kit created 9 cards, 3 in each of these 3 beautiful designs. And what I like to do is take the products in this kit and create my own cards using mostly the supplies in the kit and maybe a couple extra supplies that I may have on hand. So these are the cards that I made using the supplies in the kit. This is my third project, so if you'd like to see more of my alternative ideas or me unbox the kit, you can click on this link in the top right corner and it will take you to my playlist. So this is a 2-for-1 card. You're going to be using one of the card bases from the kit to create 2 cards, and they have that similar look, and we're just kind of flip-flopping some of those elements. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we need to do is take this Melon Mambo card base that comes in the kit, and we're going to cut it right down the middle at 4 1/4 inches. While we have our paper trimmer out, I'm going to go ahead and just trim this down. I want it to be 4 inches by 5 1/4. Okay, so now let's go ahead and work on the back piece of that card base. I've got my blending brushes and a variety of ink colors that go well with this kit, and we're going to create this fun blended background. So I'm going to start with my lightest color, which is Bumblebee, and find my yellow blending brush and just get some ink on there. And then I always like to kind of just start off my paper, and then I'm just going to start adding that color right to this cardstock here. I think I need to get a little more ink and just start off soft, and then you can add and get and kind of just continue to build up that color. I'm also going to add a little bit down here in the bottom corner and a little in the top corner. So next I'm going to do some Bermuda Bay. I love how Bermuda Bay and Bumblebee kind of work together to bring out some really beautiful greens as well to this card. And I'm going to add this color to a couple spots on the card. Let's next go to Melon Mambo. This is a nice bright color. So just go ahead and make sure to start off and then blend that in. And you're going to get some beautiful oranges and purples as you work that color into those other colors that we've already added to this cardstock. It's looking really pretty. Now let's do Blackberry Bliss. This is a nice dark purple, and so you want to just kind of start really light with it and then kind of blend it out a little bit more into some of those other colors. So definitely start off and then come into. Now if you wanted to come back with your light Bumblebee and just brighten up those yellows a little bit, you can do that too. Okay. So now that we've finished our blended background, I'm going to actually trim all the sides. You do get a little darker color on those sides, and I want it to be nice and seamless. So I'm just going to take 1/8 of an inch off all sides. My finished size should be 4 inches by 5 1/4. So next I'm going to take both of my pieces and I'm going to cut off 1 3/4 inches from either the top or the bottom. And these will be the pieces that I flip-flop. So the next part is to stamp the greeting. And I originally stamped these in Blackberry Bliss, but I'm thinking that I want to try stamping them in white embossing powder. So to do that, I'm going to need an embossing buddy that just kind of removes any of the sticky areas so that the powder only sticks to my stamp. It's really important when you do something like this blend that you use a powder like this so that it doesn't stick to that ink that we just laid down. So that kind of dries it all up. So next I'm going to have my Versamark and I'm going to ink up my greeting. For this gradient piece, I'm going to stamp it up in the top right corner. And then for my pink piece, I'm going to stamp it in the bottom right corner. Next, I'm going to take my embossing powder and I'm just going to go ahead and apply that over that stamped image. Okay, so you can see here with the blend how you're getting a lot of extra embossing powder. So I'm going to go ahead and brush this off and we're going to try again. All right, that looks a lot better. So let's go ahead and heat these up. These look so good in white. I really, really love them. So I'm glad that I made that change. If you don't have white embossing powder, of course, you can stamp them in the Blackberry Bliss and they look just as good. All right, so let's go ahead and start putting these on our card bases. I have 2 thick, basic white card bases, and they have been cut to 5 1/2 inches by 8 1/2 inches and scored at 4 1/4, which is just the regular size card. We're going to add, we're kind of flip-flopping these. So the large one of the gradient pattern goes on the top. Like that. And this one goes on the bottom. Then we're going to flip-flop and add the opposite to the other side. So this pink will go to the bottom of the gradient, and then the gradient will go on the top of the pink. Just like that. Now we have this seam between the 2 pieces that I want to cover up. And so what I've got is a piece of Pool Party cardstock. This is 1 inch by 4 inches. And I'm going to stamp the flower image that came from the stamp set in the kit with Pool Party ink. So it's going to be kind of a tone-on-tone pattern that we can add between these 2 pieces of paper, which will help bring it all together. So I'm going to cut this now in half at a 1/2 inch. So I'll have 2 1/2 inch strips that are 4 inches long. Then before I add these to my card, I do want to add some ribbon. And so I've got a piece of ribbon that's 16 inches, and you can see that I've been pulling out some of the strands in the center for these cards. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab 4 or 5 strands, and again, just kind of work those out. All right, so I've gone ahead and grabbed the 2 sets of 5 strands. Now, if you want to see how I took those out, you can watch some of my other alternative videos. Now, to keep them all together, since they're so long, I'm just going to go ahead and tie a knot in the center of them. So now I'm going to take these, and with a little adhesive on the back, I'm going to add that knot to that adhesive, and I'm going to wrap this twine around this tiny little strip. So the adhesive will also help adhere it to maybe your grid paper so that you can then tie a knot without it, or a bow without it falling off of that strip. You could also just go ahead and adhere it to your card if you want. I do like to have a little flexibility with its position, so that's why I'm not doing that quite yet. So I'm just going to go ahead now and tie a bow. So it will look something like that, and then I'm going to just repeat those steps for this one. All right, so when we look back at my original cards, you'll notice that on one, I have my bow off to the left. So to do that, I'm just going to go ahead and rotate the top and bottom of that piece of twine so that it is on the left. And then I'm going to adhere that to that center area where the adhesive is. And then I can take some more adhesive and add that to the back, and then we'll place that right over that seam that we're trying to hide. So it'll look like that. And then this one we have in the middle, but I want it just a little bit more to the left. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing by lifting that up off the adhesive slightly and then rotating it just down a little bit further. Somewhere like that. And then we'll add adhesive and place it on our card. Okay, so I do have 3 of these banners left over from doing my alternative cards. So I'm going to take each one and I'm going to cut them so that we have some different lengths and we can place them on our card and use them for both cards. So I'm going to grab my paper trimmer. I'm going to first do this first one at 2 inches here. That's going to give me a large and kind of a small size. And let's do this one too at 3 inches. I'm going to rotate it so that just like that. And then this one I'm going to do at 1 3/4 inches, which should give me about the same size, maybe a little smaller. So we've got all different sizes of banners here that we can use on our card. So now I'm just going to take these and add them to my card. Let's start with some of the bigger ones. So this one's a pretty big one. So let's place that here on our card first. And I'm just going to start with some dimensionals at the top. Because they're like banner flag pieces, I'm okay if the bottom kind of just flips up a little bit. So you can kind of curl that if you want. If you don't like it, you can tack it down too. Then let's do maybe this piece next. That's going to kind of stagger up a little higher. I'm going to place the dimensional off to the right side so that it's supported. And then we'll do a small, let's do this small scallop at the top. And because these other two have dimensionals, I'm just going to add some adhesive to the back here. And that just gets up a little bit taller and adhere to those pieces and kind of just fold up those corners just a little bit. Bring that bow over the top, and we're almost done with this card. So let's do the same thing here with this second one. So find the longer piece. So those two are really similar. Let's start with this floral one first. Off to the left. Then we'll go with this piece, and we'll bring that up to the right a little bit. We want to make sure we still see our greeting, so you don't want to cover up the greeting at all. And then this one will go right on top. And then our bow can go right over all of that. So it looks something like that. And then let's add some sequins. So I've got my Take a Pick tool and the sequins that came in the kit, and we'll just pop those right on. Let's put a couple up here, a couple at the bottom. Okay, so what do you think? Do you like the white heat embossed text, or do you like the crisp and darker Blackberry Bliss text? I'd love to know which one you prefer. And again, thank you so much for joining me today. If you're interested in getting written instructions or seeing close-up images of these cards, you can visit my blog, creativechelsey.com. If you're interested in getting your own paper pumpkin subscription, you can use the link in the description box below to sign up. Thank you so much for watching. Have a creative day. Bye.